I was so excited I had thought about keeping things to myself, but being so excited I thought just in case I would call Cindy, that Cindy now understood that Rich and I were truly in love with one another. Cindy would be helpful. She had been so encouraging with her attitude to give 100% and give it your best go. I hadn't realized I had projected my desire to help others onto her. I was extremely trusting, nor did I realize that evil existed in the world. I had been blind to just how destructive Cindy had been all along, and became extremely confused. God, that this relationship meant everything in the world to me. For sure she would help me. Rich and I would get married. We would work and play happily ever after. My sister Cindy did a 180 on me.
Really? So how was it down there? Did you have a good time, or
It was pretty good. Actually, it was
pretty good.
It was really good.
Really? So how was it down there? It was pretty good, actually. It was really good.
Well, and here's the problem with him that I would definitely have a heads up to, is it doesn't take him long after you guys do a split, and he's off with somebody else.
Well, and here's the problem with him, is it doesn't take him long after you guys do a split and he's off with somebody else. I didn't catch her twisting things around. How did it go from really good to, here's the problem with him? My sister Cindy did a 180 on me. Psychopaths make up about 1% of the population but can do enormous damage. She's projecting fear into me and am projecting desire to help others onto her. I am blind and gullible that she is toxic. This blindness is called cognitive dissonance, which is basically a subconscious defense mechanism. When you have two conflicting thoughts, it blinds you from the truth. She's projecting fear into me, so I'm easier to manipulate and control later on. We're exchanging good energy with toxic energy. Don't be fooled by the narcissist ingratiation. Ingratiation is a psychological technique in which one attempts to influence another by becoming more likable to one's target. Ingratiation, and other manipulative strategies are just a few of the ways that narcissists can trick the unsuspecting into thinking they're the real deal.
Shit out comment. Well, then I guess, I don't know, apparently he can replace you as easy as pie, so you got nothing to worry about, right? Oh, you're just there for a function, you know that. Although I realize that he does this catty little thing about I'll have you replace them or something. And that's harsh, unnecessary thing to say. So that should say to you, man, I don't need this. It's not worth anything to him anyway. That's what you want to do.
Well then, I guess, I don't know, apparently, he can replace you as easy as pie, so you got nothing to worry about. So no, you're just there for a function, you know that. Although I realize that he does this catty little thing, I'll have you replaced. Harsh and mean, unnecessary thing to say. So that should say to you, man, I don't need this, am not worth anything to him anyway. She's beating me down more. Narcissists use trauma bonding and intermittent reinforcement to get you addicted to them. Exploitive relationships create betrayal bonds. These occur when a victim bonds with someone who is destructive. The role of intermittent reinforcement in trauma bonding. Intermittent is a cruel, callous treatment mixed in. The abuser hands out rewards such as affection, a compliment. Intermittent reinforcement causes the victim to perpetually seek the abuser's approval like a gambler at a slot machine. Victims are unwittingly hooked. This manipulation tactic also causes us to perceive their rare positive behaviors in an amplified manner. Signs of a trauma bond. 1. You engage in self-blame, and the abuser becomes the sole arbiter of your self-esteem and self-worth. 2. You walk on eggshells trying to please your abuser. 3. You feel addicted to them without understanding why. 4. You defend your abuser and keep their transgressions a secret. 5. You develop self-sabotaging behaviors and might engage in some form of self-harm or addictions to dissociate from the pain of the abuse and the acute sense of shame caused by the abuse. 6. You change your own behaviors, appearance, and/or personality in an attempt to meet the abusers. 7. You develop cognitive dissonance.
He is offering that I can go back after Christmas, so that is kind of something he is offering. I should just not worry about his house. I should go see him during Christmas and then come back And then, although
how many days would it take? When is it going to lay the floor? Because you might be able to get the snow done. Well, how many days would it take to get the floor done?
it'll take a day.
Deflection is the art of mixing gaslighting with changing the subject to the point that whoever was foolish enough to care about what the deflector had to say is likely to end up scratching their head, crying, or simply not caring anymore about trying to debate a pertinent issue when and if they walk away. It is a conversational control method, plain and simple. It is highly effective if and when an abuse target fails to realize what the slippery hospitality abuser is actually striving to achieve.
I really need to go down there. I'm going to be replaced in 2 weeks anyway. If you hurry, Rich, it's going to be before Christmas. If you hurry.
Yes.
I mean, you can say a snide remark like that because technically doesn't it just not really matter? He's doing it in his life.
Maybe I shouldn't worry about this house. And go see him during Christmas.
When are they going to lay the floor? How many days will it take to lay the floor? Yeah, and if you hurry, Rich, you might be able to replace me before Christmas. Doesn't it really not matter if you're there in his life?
How's the trip going? Are you at your destination?
Am I what?
Are you at your destination?
Not that far from the beach. Yeah, but God, I'm so really missing Rich.
Oh, you idiot. You are.
Now
It's stupid because you'd be fighting with him within 2 days.
Well, I've been doing some reading because I had some resentment and I had some regrets about what I've done in order to be with this relationship. And it's like, I've caused anger because it's like I've pulled up some information on it and I go, okay, maybe he's right. Maybe, and your comment about, well, if you're going to accept him, you need to overlook that stuff and move beyond it. Yeah, that's kind of something so I'm working on moving beyond it, trying to deal with anger. It wasn't like a reoccurring thing, blah, blah, blah.
Super charming. That's why I think he is a serious manipulator, psychopathic level. That's funny because he was doing an interview. You're right, I wouldn't have known that. Scary, they're harder to detect. And Mark's situation, he did that to you. They can get past the detector, the psychopath. They specialize, they will say manipulating people, they will say whatever you want here, not that it's real or true.
Ended because you feel the same thing I felt against Bill. I couldn't go back to Bill. You fucked me over twice. I'm not an idiot. How much fucking abuse does the person want to take? You should be done then. You're still carrying that same anger from years ago. It hasn't diminished at all. If anything, it's possibly worse. So end it then. Ended because you feel the same thing I felt against Bill. I couldn't go back to Bill. You fucked me over twice. I'm not an idiot. How much fucking abuse does the person want to take? You should be done then. You're still carrying that same anger from years ago. It hasn't diminished at all. If anything, it's possibly worse. So end it then.
Well, Rich is actually surprisingly mellowed out a bunch. Which,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he knows he'll lose you if he does that.
She's beating me down to ash. Of course I regret ever giving her the benefit of the doubt. I have lost the love of my life, while being psychologically beat to shit.
Around, and eventually, if you marry him, I can see him with time trying to psychologically convince you that it's necessary that he be able to look and maybe have sex with someone once in a while. If he can beat you down psychologically so you feel so shitty about yourself, he might actually get you to consent to that. Yeah, and that's the scary stuff. You don't even want to ever let anybody ever take you down psychologically like that, ever. No, that's disgusting. That's just disgusting. But I can see him doing it. Putting you down so low that you think you're the scum of the earth and, it's only right that he go fuck somebody else and I'll just be the good wife and fix you.
How can you have that statement right? Can you ever have a trusting, bonding relationship together? It's weird that he would say that. Loyalty is important part of a relationship. Yeah, just another bullshit line there. Rich. Eventually, if you marry him, I bet you within time he will psychologically beat you down. Psychologically, so that you feel yourself so low and shitty about yourself that you actually conform to that, and that's the scary stuff. You don't want even to ever let anybody take you down psychologically like that ever. That's disgusting. I can see him doing that. That's disgusting. I can see him doing it, working you down so low that you think you're the scum of the earth. And that it's only right if he fucks somebody else and I will be the good wife. Instead, my sister did a 180 on me. She had some kind of psychological hold on me. And she was in control of me. How did I get to this point? It was December 3rd, 2014.
I think he gets excited about your project at the beginning, then he loses the show on his wins.
Yeah, a lot of guys are like that.
I haven't done that to you.
No, not really.
Like all insect shit kind of stuff. Which is not so appealing.
Right, so there's like...
He probably will learn something, but not going to fall back to a lot of his old ways. I think that will happen. So even if he does everything you say, what you have whipped him into shape pretty good, I have to admit. Wolfman would never have reindeers to do that shit. Wolfman would not. Well, you know, the demanding. You must change for me. And, you know, that's a good idea, you see. So instead of accepting him as you are so rich, you know, he was thinking for a while. You know, he needed you. He was way too late at this point. Yeah, he probably has changed to some degree, but I think that once he thinks he's in the comfort zone and everything is dandy, I think he would go right back to his ways.
Cognitive dissonance is the difficulty accepting what you believe to be true is actually false. In other words, the thoughts that my sister would hurt me. And she intentionally feeds that by occasionally acting like she has good intentions and acting like the Good Samaritan. Which is just another tactic for control and to throw you off the trail.
But he also is human, and he also has his needs. You know, he thinks he has like an so that doesn't really mean he's a super bad person, but he is a bit of a manipulator, and, you know, it's easy to get what he wants. But then don't a lot of people, don't a lot of people. I mean, you know,
I don't think I would have hurt.
Lying sack of shit. I think he has learned something. I think he will go back to his old ways. I think that will happen. Even if he does everything you say. Which you have whipped him into shape pretty good. Well, you know you must change for me. Instead of accepting him for who they are. It's probably too late at this point. Yeah, I think he has changed to some degree. Once he's in the comfort zone and everything is dandy, I think he will go back to the way he was. But he also has his needs. He manipulative, but don't a lot of people.
You know, unless you can let that shit go, and you're still holding it from day one, without the first major event that happened 2.5 years later, and you're still as angry about it as you were then.
Yeah.
So you haven't resolved it, so it's absolutely going to contaminate anything you hope to have.
Unless you can let all that shit go. And you're still holding it from day one. And you're still as angry. You haven't resolved it. So, it's absolutely going to contaminate anything you hope to have. I was losing my grip. I couldn't think straight any longer. Why was I letting Cindy be so abusive to me? Was I waiting for her approval? Was I beaten down that much? Had I been traumatized by her to the point of being ash? I don't know. I know it felt like I was slipping into quicksand. The walls were slippery. I couldn't get a grip, and that the more I struggled with her, the further I fell. I know in my head I was repeatedly saying help me, but there was no one. For some reason I couldn't ask Rich because I was so scared of him. Before I knew it, I was saying things to Rich that I didn't know where they were coming from. Words were just coming out of my mouth. Sounds spooky, but I believe she had brainwashed me. My brain is saying one thing, but what comes out of my mouth are words I don't want to be saying. What is brainwashing? The process of pressuring someone into adopting radically different beliefs by using systematic and often forcible means. This was the worst day of my life.
Your man about it, and I think
Do you not remember how devastated I was when I said, Rich, what do you mean you've changed your mind? What do you mean you've changed your mind? Are you, whatever, what do you mean you're not ready? Do you remember how devastated I was when you told me that? Do you have any remembrance of that at all?
well, Kathleen, okay, yes, I do remember that. I remember that you were hurt, you're still hurt, but I'm asking you, Kathleen Taylor, if I'm ready now.
But it caused me. There's just some things you can never get over. I can never get over you doing that. I wanted to go forward with you. I wanted so much for us to. Okay, Rich, it's your turn. You do it. You turn around and you do it, and then we'll live happily ever after. And maybe that's the problem is I had some kind of fantasy, some kind of fairy tale that I was going to do my part and you were going to do your part, and we're going to live happily ever after.
Well, it's still we can still repair that.
I can't get over that. How could you do that to me? How could you say, I'm not ready? How could you do that to me? I mean, that killed me. That killed my heart. It was so bad.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, Kathleen. I was being honest with you. I mean, what would you have rather done for me to lie to you and then go on and press on and then, lie to you?
No, I'd rather you have turned around, done the same thing that I did, left everything, and not let it linger on for as long as you let it linger on. That's what I wanted to do. Turn around and say, okay, Kay, I'm leaving. You left before the place was rented. You left at the end of September. I would have expected for you to leave in September. You were gone the whole month of October. I would have thought that in October you would have.
Okay, I got this. What if I go visit you?
I think we just. I'm never gonna. It's always gonna be resentment from that. I'm gonna always go. Why did I stick out in the relationship after that?
What if I go visit you, Kathleen Taylor?
It's not going to change how I feel.
Well, I know, but at least I get to see you. And so what happens if I go visit you?
I don't know. You need to stay there. If I get this close friend, I don't want to make promises because you're pushing me into them. No, I don't want to do that.
What's your thought and concept?
I was kind of considering I would come visit you, but what are we doing? Are we going to drag this relationship on? How many more years are we going to drag this on?
Well, that's the whole plan that I was going to give you a surprise, but you're kind of already getting my surprise. But I wanted to tell you that I do love you, and I want to continue to be with you, Kathleen. I don't want another woman. I've been through this already, and fallen in love with you, and I want to repair things. I want to start doing things. If you can, just talk to God and ask for forgiveness, and I want to be with you. No,
not been ever able to get over that. I tried so hard to get over that.
Kinsley, you needed some more time. I mean, well, give it some more time. Obviously, you feel that way, Patty. So, maybe if we reunite, I can talk to you some more. Maybe I think what's happening is you might be going to a healing process that is taking you a while here, and you can't let it go. And I want to make sure that you're the one that I want to be with.
You want to make sure I'm the one that you want to be with.
What I was trying to say is I want to make sure that you understand that you're the one that I want to be with.
Well, why don't we talk about this a little bit later more? It's a lot fun. I wasn't expecting to talk about this.
Okay, understand. All right, over there. I'm going to go back to the breakfast thing. And, okay, we'll talk later. I'll check on you. See how you're doing in the house today.
I am going to be a man about it, and yeah, I think.
Do you not remember how devastated I was when I said, Rich, what do you mean you changed your mind? What do you mean you changed mind? What do you mean you're not ready?
Kathleen, yes, I do remember that. I do remember that you were hurt. You're still hurt, but I'm asking you, Kathleen Taylor, I'm ready now.
Do you remember how devastated I was when you told me that? Do you have any remembrance of that at all?
We can still do that.
There are something you can never get over. I can never get over. I can never get over your doing that. I wanted to go forward with you. I wanted so much. Okay, Rich, it's your turn. You turn around and you do it.
Kathleen, I was being honest with you. What would you rather I have done? Lied to you and then pressed on and lied to you?
We'll live happily ever after. Maybe that's some kind of fantasy. I had some kind of fairy tale that I was going to do my part and you were going to do your part and we were going to live happily ever after.
Okay, I got this. What if I go visit you? Yes, Kathleen Taylor, I do remember that. Yes, I remember that you were hurt. You're still hurt.
I can't get over that. How could you do that to me? How could you say I'm not ready? How could you do that? Killed me. That killed my heart so bad. I would rather you turn around, done the same thing I did, left everything, not let it linger on for as long as you let them linger on. That's what I wanted you to do. Okay, I'm leaving.
I got this. What if I go visit you, Kathleen Taylor? I know, but at least I get to go visit you and stuff.
Yes, Kathleen Taylor, I do remember that. Yes, I remember that you were hurt. You're still hurt.
If I go visit you? What if I go visit you, Kathleen Taylor? You need to stay there.
Some kind of fairy tale.
If I get this place rented.
How could you do that to me? How could you?
I don't want to make promises to you because you push me into them.
That killed me. That killed my heart so bad.
What's are your thoughts?
I would rather you turned around.
I was kind of thinking I would come visit you, but what are we doing? I mean, how many years are we going to drag this?
We can still do that.
That's the whole plan. I was going to tell you a surprise. I wanted to tell you that I do love you and want to be with you, Kathleen. I don't want another woman.
I got this. What if I go visit you, Kathleen Taylor? It's not going to change how I feel.
Kathleen.
I know, but at least I get to go visit you and stuff.
Give it some more time. Give it some more time. Obviously you feel that way. Maybe I can talk to you some more. I think you might be going through a healing process and it's taking you a while and you can't let it go. I want to make sure you're the one I want to be with. What I mean to say, you want to make sure I'm the one you want to be with. What I meant is I want to make sure you understand you're the one I want to be with.
I wanted to tell you that I do love you and want to be with you, Kathleen. I don't want another woman.
I will see how you're doing on the house later on today.
Rich, I love you with every part of me. And I have never loved anyone or anything more in my entire life. I know you have pressed on. If I ever successfully end things, you weren't the cause for my ending it. You were the one who made me feel alive. I have never felt more alive in my life than when I was with you. It's like I was possessed by this demon and this demon was coming out of my mouth. It can go back to hell. This is too much pain, this hurts too much. Please, if am ever successful, accept me, Father, into your heavenly garden. God forgive me, for I know not what I was doing.